you'll probably have a hard time. Okay, so I'm sorry that this doesn't look proper. Your notes do look proper though, correct? Okay, so I'll just rewrite it out. So we're solving here by graphing. So if we want to solve by graphing, and this is absolute value of x squared minus 2x minus 3, don't ask me why the minus sign won't convert, equals 3. No idea. What did we do how do we solve this graphically? Okay, one side we're going to make y1, the other side we're going to make y2. So let's do that. Let's plug y1 in. Does everyone remember how to type in an absolute value? Okay. So grab your graphing calculators. I'll grab mine. Go to y equals. Okay. So, ooh, I got 2. Lucky me. Y equals. Now, we push the math button. So math. Everyone with me? And then what? Number. We go over to number. Now, if you're completely lost and you're in the middle of a test, you can find everything in catalog. Every single key in your calculator is in the catalog. Does anyone know where the catalog is? No idea. It's where 0 is, so second 0. Do you see that? Second 0 gives you a catalog, and it's actually the very first one. So that's another option, because it's, yeah. But every single thing you could do on your calculator is in the catalog. If you ever lose something, go to your catalog. So you're welcome just to go second 0, and nicely, it happens to be the first one. Now, some of you, if you have an older software on your calculator, it actually just writes ABS, right? And then you have to close the brackets. You can update your software on your graphing calculators if you plug it into the computer, and you can actually update it. So that's something you might want to do. It's actually not that hard. You have to use the TI website, and you have to have the cord to connect it to your calculator or computer. But if you haven't updated your calculator, then it's going to just be ABS, and you just close it in brackets. Okay, so y1, x squared, absolute value of x squared minus 2x minus 3. y2 is 3. You may have to adjust your windows. Let's take a look here. Okay, so often we have to adjust our windows to see things clearly. So what can I do to adjust my windows to make this clear? See graph more clearly. What could you do? Windows. What could I change? How about x? Do we need all that x? What if we went from negative what? 5 to 5? Sure? Yes? Okay, thank you. Okay, so x negative 5 to 5. And then y, do we need the negatives for an absolute value? No, right? Absolute value, it's always above 0, so we can go 0 to 10. So negative 5 to 5 for x, and then 0 to 10 for y. And that's going to be a lot, it's going to be a lot clearer. Okay, so that's our graph that we have here. And I'm just going to do a rough sketch of it. Or, oh, I'm going to take a picture. Oops, no, that's not what I want. Ding. Love when that happens. Okay, so, oh, oops. Okay, there's my graph. Okay, so we want to find the intersection. How do we find the intersection? Second, trace, and then number 5. Okay, how many answers will this graph have? Yeah, we're going to have 4 intersections. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you did a quick sketch of the graph, this was the y-axis. This was my x-axis. And we have 4 intersections. Okay, so we want to find all 4. Second trace. Let's do the farthest negative. or the smallest. So go over. Once you're over there, all you have to do, enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here's a problem. Do I want a decimal? No, I don't want a decimal. I don't like negative 1.645751. So how do I change it to a fraction? Does anyone know? Exit the screen, so quit. And then push the X button. Math, enter, enter. Your oh, darn it. It doesn't work, so I guess we're stuck with a decimal. But we tried. At least we tried. So let's write this to 2 decimal places. So we got negative 1.65 was one of them, comma. Let's do it again. Graph, oops, graph, second trace 5. Let's go over to the next one. It looks like it's at 0 and 3. Is that true? X equals 0? Oh, I cleared it. Darn, it was 0 and 3, wasn't it? So, and do we take the y values? No. We only take the x values, right? Remember, it's only the x values you want. So remember, I can't spell remember. You know it's a bad day when it's only the x value that we want. Okay, so the other option was x equals, what was it? 0. Okay, find the other 2. What did you get? 2? I believe you. 2, and then one more. And can that one be changed to a decimal? Did anyone try? Tried? Okay, 3.65. And there's our solution. Okay? So again, if we wanted to solve this one by graphing, we're going to go y1 equals x squared. I think that's a minus. Because I'm assuming it's the negative signs that are having a hard time here. And then y2 equals absolute value of x minus 5. You might want to reset your windows before we start. So zoom 6, and then go back to y equals. All right, so we have x squared minus, so notice the difference is last question, the absolute value, the quadratic was inside the absolute value, where this one is not. So it might be faster just to go second 0, to go to catalog, and then absolute value, x minus 5. But you can also use math and then number. Okay. Okay. Now we might want to zoom in a little bit so we can see how many intersections we have. Windows. I'm going to go 0. Is that okay? Does it not look the same for you? Okay, your graph should look something like, we sketch this out. If I count this, it's 1, 2, 3 is the first x-intercept, 4, 5 is the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so 3 and 5. And I think it's negative 1-ish. So that's our graph for the quadratic. And then the absolute value of x minus 5. Well, we know 5 is the intercept. And it looks like is it hitting the x-axis at 5? Kind of looks like that. If we change our windows, I'm just going to change this to 0 and the y min to negative 2. It looks like it is going from 5 because the slope is negative 1, so that it would be hitting there. So just by looking at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we expect that one of our intersection points is actually on the x-axis at 5. But we're going to double check using our graphing calculator. So we know how many intersections will this have? How many solutions? A great multiple choice question, but it could also be, how many solutions does this equation have? And basically it's asking how many intersection points. So 2. We have this one, and it looks like the x-intercept there. So let's find it. Second trace 5. Oops. Let's go to the one to the left. Push enter 3 times. So x equals, do I want both the y and the x? No, just the x. So x equals 2. And did you find the other one? It is 5? Okay. Yay. Hi. What happened? I pushed one too many enters. 5. Okay, there's our solution. Okay. So if the question ever asks you the number of solutions, that's equivalent to, graphically, the number of intersections. Right, now the fun part. Can we solve algebraically now? It's the same thing as yesterday. We have to do what? Write both equations. So this is a minus. First step would be to do what? The positive case. So when the inside of the absolute value is greater than 0, then drop the absolute value. And we solve. How do we solve a quadratic? Everything to one side. It's a party. X squared minus 2x minus 6. Okay, as Tran would call it, now what do we need at the party? Does anyone have Tran for grade 10? What did he call these? The butt cheeks. It's so Tran, hey? So you need our butt cheeks. We need to factor, right? Okay, what are the factors going to be? 1 times 1, and then what would this be? Probably 3 and 2, or 6 and 1, or what? Is it factorable? No! Darn it! So what do we have to use? It's the quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. Quadratic formula. And it's negative b plus or minus the b squared minus 4ac. Do you remember that song? Over 2a, hey! Over 2a, hey! It's no One Direction, that's for sure. I'll try not to quit my day job. Clearly, I should not be a singer. Okay, what would be my negative b? 2, good. Positive 2, because it's a negative 2. Positive 2, because if you do negative, negative 2, it becomes positive 2, plus or minus square root. Negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1. What's my c value? Negative 6. All over 2a. So just 2. 2 times 1 is 2. All right, we can do this in our head, right? Yes, we can. Negative 2 squared. Positive 4. And then we have a negative 4 times negative 6. Plus 24 plus, so 4 plus 24? 28. See? We can do it in our head. Can we simplify this puppy? Yes. 28 we can write as 4 times 7. And we could square root 4. So what does it actually become? 2 plus or minus 2 root 7 all over 2. Can that be simplified? Yes. 1, so we have to do all 3 coefficients. We can divide all of those by 1. Remember this? This was fun back in the day. You know what's going to be really fun? Checking these. Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. So let's write them separately. We have 1 plus 1 root 7. Do you have to write 1 root 7? Just root 7. Do you have to write divided by 1? No, you don't have to write divided by 1. And then we have 1 minus root 7 all over 1, or just 1 minus root 7. You don't have much room, do you? I probably should have gave you more room, because we have to check these. Yeah, I know. Awesome. Man, I can't even see my original function. Darn. Okay, absolute value of, so let's do first x equals 1 plus root 7. Yay! You might have to use some of the next page. Okay, 1 plus root 7 squared. Guess what we're going to have to do there? No, it shouldn't be. Cross it out. We're changing it. 2 times 1 plus root 7 minus 3, absolute value equals 3. Okay, can you read that? Should I zoom in? No, it's not supposed to be the typo. Clearly I'm tired these days. I need a Christmas break. It's not, we'll change it. We'll change it. Okay, so here, what do I have to do to simplify 1 plus 7 root 7 squared? Yes, I know you're just hoping that this is not true, but it is true. We have to do it. Yes, you are right. If your instinct is telling you FOIL, you're right. I know you're like, maybe there's another way. Just maybe. No, there's not another way. We have to FOIL that. Now, thankfully, it's a perfect square. So, if it's a perfect square, there's a little shortcut. 1 squared is just 1. Then we multiply the 2 terms together and double it. So what would that be? 2 root 7. So if I multiply 1 times root 7 is root 7, and double it, 2 root 7. And then the last term would be the root 7 squared is 7. We had to FOIL there. Okay, bringing the negative 2 in. Minus 2 plus 2 root 7. And then we have a subtract 3. Guess what happens? Well, 2 root 7, did I make a mistake? Clearly I have a 1-year-old at home. Okay, that should have been a minus sign. There we go. Now what happens? Yay, the plus 2 root 7 minus 2 root 7 cancel. What else do we get? 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 minus 5, 3. Guess what? It works. Okay, now we have to try the other one. What? I know, life sucks. No one ever said, and if they did tell you this, they were lying, that life would be easy. Okay? Sometimes it's tough. Today, it's probably one of those days. Yes. 8 minus 3. No, 8 minus, there's a 2 and a 3. Minus 2 minus 3 is minus 5. Yeah. Okay, So guess what we have to do with this first guy? We have to FOIL, but we could use our little shortcut. Square the first. 1 squared is 1. 1 times negative root 7, and then double it. Negative 2 root 7. And then what's negative root 7 times negative root 7? Plus 7. Now we use distributive law. We get minus 2 plus 2 root 7, then the minus 3. Okay, does this work out? The 2 root 7's cancel. We're left with 1 plus 7 is 8 minus 5, which is 3. An absolute value of 3 is 3. Okay, are we done? No. Because we still have to do what? The negative case. Don't you love quadratics? Love it. Okay, use some of the space on the next page. So turn over if you have to. Okay, so now we have to do the negative case. Yay! Let's be honest. You don't have better things to do with your time, do you? Video games don't count, guys. Video games don't count. Same with watching Netflix. Okay. I promise you this one will be easier. It's factorable.
Yes.
Yay. Okay, what's our first step? Distributive, bring in the negative. Okay, negative x squared plus 2x plus 3. Right on the next page if you ran out of room. Now what? Nope, you can't factor yet. It's not a party yet. One side s equal to 0, right? Everybody together. It's a party. Okay, we get negative x squared plus 2x. What happens with the 3 and negative 3? It cancels. So what can I factor out of this guy? Let's take a negative x, because you don't want a negative x squared. You take out the negative. What are we left with? X minus 2, because we factored out a negative. So, what does x equal? Okay, 2 and 0. That was so much easier. Okay, and then guess what? Our check is easier too. 2 squared minus 2 times 2 minus 3, absolute value, equals 3. 2 squared, 4 minus 4, 0, 0 minus 3. Absolute value of negative 3 has to equal 3. Does it? Yes. Woohoo! Okay, check with the 0. 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 3 equals 3. Is that true? Yes. So how many solutions does this one have? 4. It has the solutions of 1 plus root 7, 1 minus root 7, 0, and 2. You should always write a conclusion, guys, of what it actually equals and circle that. So I know if there was extraneous. Move up. Okay. Is that good? A little bit more? Okay. So we have one more example for you. Yes. You could do plus or minus. As long as you checked both and they're both true, yes, you can. Okay, so the next question. Do you need a second? To breathe. Okay, would you like to try it yourself? Okay, on the next page, write the following example. It is a typo. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to pause the video 1 second. Please solve absolute value of x minus 5 equals x squared minus 8x plus 15. Would you like to try this on your own? Okay, great. I think that's a great idea. Okay, how'd it go, guys? Rudy? So, the positive case. Are you done the positive case? Okay, so when you factored, you should have got x equals 5 and x equals 4 with your check. X equals 5 works. Does x equals 4? No, you get absolute value of negative 1 equals negative. Well, that's not true, because 1 does not equal negative 1. It's not equal, so it's extraneous. So we reject x equals 4. When you do the negative case, you get 5 and 2. Do you have to check 5 again? You actually don't. Once you've checked it once, you don't have to check it a second time. It's going to be identical. So you don't make more work. So x equals 5, we already checked. We know it works. So I just have to check x equals 2. Absolute value of 2 minus 5 has to equal to 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 15. Okay, so we got 4 minus 16 plus 15. What does that equal? 19 minus 16 is 3. So is that true? Yeah, that's true. So that is true. So what's our solution then? X equals 5 and x equals 2. We don't write a solution twice. Always write a conclusion and box it so I know what you're saying is your final answer, because sometimes we have extraneous and I don't want to second guess what you're saying is extraneous. It's very helpful. You cross it out, write extraneous. Okay? You comfortable with today's lesson? You have to write the quiz? You could just cross it out. That's fine. If you show the check and you show you're crossing it out, that's fine.